the 18th FIBA World Cup, the biggest ever in the 69-year history of the competition, featuring 32 teams playing 92 games. We're in Foshan, and today we've got two exciting games for you. First, it's Venezuela versus Russia, both with 2-2 records, both assured of tickets to the 2020 Olympics qualifying tournament. And in our second game, a battle of unbeaten title contenders on the way to the quarterfinals. It's Argentina versus Poland, both with 4-0 records. Dean Quinito Henson with Josh Bett. This is the 2019 FIBA World Cup, the World's Got game. Josh, second meeting between Venezuela and Russia in World Cup history. Back in 2002, Russia won over Venezuela 86-69.
Well, as you mentioned, a lot to play in these games with these two teams, but again, coming off the back of two disappointing results, especially for the case of Russia, where it was very close against Poland, but right now, this game's about pride between these two. These two want to finish here on a very strong note.
Russia players now being introduced. You mentioned the game between Poland and Russia. Russia going down 79-74 in a game where they controlled the majority of the contest. They were in the lead for 30 minutes and 28 seconds out of the 40 minutes of the contest, and they gave it up in the fourth quarter. Big reason was the bruising defense of Russia. They paid a heavy price, delivering 38 free throws to Poland, and Poland connecting 35 out of those 38 free throw attempts.
Well, Russia started the game like a house on fire. I mean, they moved the ball so well, they spread very well, they made the defense collapse, and Poland at one point looked like they couldn't keep up, but Poland dug in there. They shot very well from the free throw line, and that's something Russia we saw in the last round in one of their games that they were victims of. So Russia's got to make sure they play better defense and don't send Venezuela to the free throw line too much tonight.
And now we've got the Venezuelan team. They lost to Argentina the other day, 87-67, but in a game where a seldom used offensive player named Michael Carrera exploded for 19 points, 7 out of 10 from the floor.
Well, Michael Carrera, having played 2 years ago for Abdul Sabtarov, didn't really seem like an offensive threat. You can see he's only averaging about 2 points per game, and literally that night, Dean, he went off the mark. I mean, literally, he was carrying Venezuela at one point in the first half, staying in the game before Argentina ran away with it.
And earlier you saw the Venezuelan coach, Fernando Duro. And these are the two games on tap for today, here in the second round of action. 2019 FIBA World Cup, it's Venezuela versus Russia. And later on, the big one, a battle of unbeaten teams. Argentina versus Poland. And they're on top in the leaderboard with identical 4-0 marks. Russia and Venezuela also with identical records of 2-2. And it's going to be a good one. Venezuela and Russia, two teams here in the FIBA World Cup that didn't play in 2014. Actually, 12 teams here in the World Cup didn't get to see action in 2014. So we welcome those teams back in the fold. 32 teams playing here in the 2019 FIBA World Cup. And right now, let's honor the national anthems of the competing teams. Just a few minutes away from tip-off. It's Venezuela versus Russia. And you look at the record of Russia, they've lost their last 2 games. One against Argentina, one against Poland, but they've never lost 3 in a row in their World Cup history.
Well, as I said before, this game is really about pride. Russia, you go back to the history of basketball when they were coached by David Blatt, the 2007 Eurobasket champions. They've got a reputation to live up to. But Dean, right now we just get set to introduce our officials. Our officials are coming from the nations of France, Japan, and China. Nanye Takaki Kato and Johan Rosso. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very proud to say we've got some of the finest officials here in world basketball. They've done an excellent job in all of our FIBA competitions, and they'll continue to do so here tonight in Foshan at the FIBA World Cup.
Oh, without a doubt, our referees have done an excellent job. 56 referees assembled here for the World Cup from 39 different countries. As we take a look at the starting 5 of Russia, it's Baburin, Ivlev, Vorontsevich, Kulagin, and Kurbanov starting out for the Russian team.
Well, Kulagin now for me. At the end, you asked me the question, Dean, when Russia was down. I think it was down by 4 points at the end. Do you go for a 2? Do you go for a 3? And literally, you go for what's best. And Kulagin, in my mind, forced a shot that probably could have saved the game for Russia. But Vorontsevich, they're going to need a big performance for that man tonight down low if they're going to battle against a very physical Venezuela team.
And you saw the figures of Vorontsevich in the World Cup, averaging 11.8 points and hitting 49% from the floor. Vorontsevich, one of the big men of Russia, and he's relied on for not only delivering the points, but also grabbing those rebounds and protecting the paint. And now we've got the starting 5 for Venezuela. Jose Vargas, Miguel Ruiz, it's Guigent, Dwight Lewis, Nestor Colmenares, and you don't see the man who logged the most minutes in the previous game of Venezuela, and that was Gregory Vargas playing the point guard position. He will be coming off the bench for Coach Fernando Duro. But this man has been brilliant. Guillent, last game 10 points and 3 rebounds, but overall his averages 14.5 points. Brilliant offensive display from Guigent. And what about those assists? Guigent has passed off at least 7 assists in 3 of his 4 games here in the World Cup. And we call him the facilitator, the conductor of the Venezuelan basketball team. The Russian coach, Sergei Bazarevich, a former NBA player with the Atlanta Hawks, now calling the shots for Team Russia. Venezuelan players, you see them on your screens, ready to go, ready to rumble in this big game. The final game of both these teams here in the FIBA World Cup. They will not advance to the quarterfinals. However, they have been assured of playing in the Olympic qualifying tournaments. And there will be 4 Olympic qualifying tournaments involving 24 teams.
Well, Venezuela, if they're going to do a better job tonight, they need a bigger performance from Nestor Colmenares. Now, watching them practice yesterday, they were making sure that he got a lot of shots in and around the basket, because when he went up against Luis Scola, you could see he had a very tough night with only 5 points. He must play well. He must deliver for Venezuela.
And Josh, for Venezuela, what you like about this team is their scrappiness around the offensive boards. They're averaging 16.5 offensive rebounds a game, and that's the most of any team in the World Cup this year.
Well, no doubt about it. I mean, Venezuela are a team that can produce, especially from the perimeter with the likes of Isaac Guigent, and not to mention the Vargas brothers. But, you know, those offensive rebounds, it's just the tenacity, the toughness. As you say, tough as nails. They just got to keep going at it. Any chance to stay in this game, because Russia, tough opponent tonight.
Man to watch here for Russia is Kulagin. He had 21 points versus Poland. 5 3-point connections. Russia not known to be a hot 3-point shooting team, but in that particular game against Poland, Kulagin was red hot. And now he's got possession of the ball. By the way, the 21 points of Kulagin, the most by any Russian player, scoring at least 20 points since Pashutin hit 22 against Turkey in 2002. Vorontsevich losing possession here, the quick hands of Venezuela. Guigent. Off to Vargas in the long court. Now they go to Colmenares. Still with Vargas. They're looking for Ruiz at the low post. And then losing possession here. Quick hands by Baburin. Kulagin.
Venezuela's got to be better than the low post. He's got the ball. You got to keep control of it. Can't make costly turnovers like that. They had an opportunity to get on the break, didn't make the most of it, and now they got to get in the half-court defense against Russia.
Vorontsevich looking for the high-low play. And Ivlev defended and fouled by Dwight Lewis. Another round around the block here for Russia. 14 seconds, shot clock reset. After that foul, still no points scored by other team. There's the pass, Vorontsevich trying to carve space, whipping it around the perimeter. Now it's with Baburin. Baburin looking for the man to pass to. There's Vorontsevich. Ivlev with a drop step. He does not connect, but he'll go to the line. The foul inside, and Ivlev, big man for Russia. Russia going inside, looking for the high percentage shot. Colmenares with a foul inside. And that's the trademark of this Russian team. They like to go to their bigs. They like their bigs to get very much involved in the offense. They want them close to the basket. They're a bruising team. And that's also one big reason why they gave up a lot of fouls defensively against Poland in their last game.
Well, if you see the defense by Nestor Colmenares against Ivlev, of course, what happened was he put his hands up, and just as he went for the shot, he went for the very soft swipe, and that's what sent him to the free throw line. At that point, when you beat, all you can do is keep your hands up, make the offense player, force him into a tough shot.
Guillen passing it off to Vargas in the long court. They're looking for who's open. Guillen has it again, and then a nice bounce pass. But the pass deflected, and then the pass picked up. Oh, miss! Ruiz with an easy shot, but he missed. Kulagin speeding it up, slowing it down. Boy, this change of pace of Russia is amazing. And here's the drive. Again, one of the bigs of Russia collecting the foul, Kurbanov. And what you like about Russia is that they're keeping Venezuela's defense guessing.
This was lazy defense by Jose Vargas. You can see what happened was when he got by him, he's got his hands down. You know, you got to keep your hands out. Fundamental principles of playing man-to-man defense. You don't put your hands down low, make any contact. Make the contact in your sternum, but keep your hands out.
Kurbanov missing his first free throw. Russia now going 1 out of 3 from the line very early in this game. And he makes his second free throw. Russia 50% shooting from the line. All the points scored in this game so far from the line. Pressure defense by Russia. Venezuela getting it across. Here's the drive down the baseline. And then the miss. The miss. That's a second close distance miss by Venezuela. That time Vargas failing to connect. Ball going around. Kulagin with a shot. Doesn't get it to fall. Another rebound here. Good box out by Venezuela. They're putting some pace behind the basketball. Hard show there by Vorontsevich. Guillen still with the basketball. Looking for the man inside. It's Colmenares. And he will score. Colmenares. A beautiful pass coming from the conductor, Guillen.
Well, that's a Nestor Colmenares now that Venezuela's got. As soon as he got it, one very aggressive dribble and went straight up with it. Something he didn't do against Argentina.
Ball screen there for Kulagi. And another trip to the line here for Russia on the foul by Venezuela. Venezuela giving up a ton of fouls. Now with 14 fouls against Venezuela. So they're now in the penalty. And look at this move here by Colmenares. Aggressive and going to the hole. We didn't see much of that in the previous game of Venezuela.
We've only played 2.5 minutes and already Venezuela's in the penalty. I mean, again, Jose Vargas picking up 2 fouls, really careless, sloppy man-to-man defense.
There's Kulagin, and we mentioned he had 21 points in that Russian loss to Poland the other day. 5 out of 12 from 3-point distance. Russia's points all coming from the free throw line. Here's another free throw.
Well, Churio now having to come in and take the point guard role because you see Kulagin not letting Guillen get the ball back. They know how dangerous the conductor is with the ball in his hands.
Churio giving it over to Colmenares. Colmenares trying to back his way in. There's the shot, but he missed. Was a good shot, a good attempt. Nice aggressive move by Colmenares. Just wasn't getting the angle to make that shot fall in. Russian defense holding strong. Kulagin with a nice crossover down the baseline, trying the reverse. That's an offensive foul. They call it on Kulagin down the baseline.
That's a tough one. I have to see the replay, but it did look like he had his left hand out, blocked him out. So
it's interesting. The first man off the bench for Venezuela, Churio, helping out Guillen in the backcourt, and not Gregory Vargas, who played a stellar game last time out from Venezuela, and he took over as point guard. Guillen playing the two-guard position. Now it's Guillen. Now he's bringing the ball up again. Colmenares, way outside, looking for someone to pass to. Guillen with a fake, and then the step back. He doesn't make it. Big rebound here by Kurbanov. Kulagin over to Baburin. Back to Kurbanov. And a three-point attempt by Vorontsevich, and it's in. Three-pointer coming from Vorontsevich. You knock that down.
Well, if Russia starts making three-point shots, it's going to be a very long night for Venezuela. Venezuela trying everything they can to stop Russia from getting in the low block, and now they've got to mix it up and make sure they don't hit open threes.
Guillen on the outside, defended by Baburin. Guillen trying to disengage, and he lost possession. Ball will stay with Venezuela on the tap out by Russia. Just 2 seconds left on Venezuela's shot clock. You watch it right here. Kurbanov with a beautiful assist to a wide open Vorontsevich for the three-pointer. So big to big in that situation for Russia. A big man delivering to Vorontsevich, Kurbanov with the assist, and Vorontsevich with a connection. Now Venezuela looking to inbound. Just 2.4 seconds to go in their shot clock. Churio with the inbound. There's a nice pass inside. Got off the shot, but not the basket. Baburin faking the three-pointer. They're not in a hurry. They want to work the 24-second shot clock. Kurbanov, and there's a foul. Venezuela is in the penalty. It's going to be a long, long game here for Venezuela. Russia capitalizing on those fouls. They'll go back to the line for free throws.
Well, that's what happens if you don't play disciplined defense. Again, they haven't even played half the quarter. It only took 2 minutes, 30 seconds for Venezuela to get the penalty. Now they got to bring in Gregory Vargas and Michael Carrera along with Luis Bethany. So they've had to make a deep change. Zamora as well into the game.
I'm looking for some offense here. We talked about Gregory Vargas and how critical the role he played in Venezuela's last game against Poland, or rather against Argentina. There's Kurbanov on your screens. A lot of free throws being taken here by Russia. A 7-point lead here by Russia over Venezuela. Michael Carrera, who had a big game last time out against Argentina with 19 points. Now on the floor, Gregory Vargas. They call him Super Raton. Just recently signed a contract to play in Israel next season. Vorontsevich with a rebound. Now it's Kulagin.
Well, Vargas just had time and space there to go one-on-one, and again, there's too much of an overload on the left side. He's got to spot that. I mean, you want to go through the set plays, but again, you got to take any opportunity you can now.
Nice high-low play, but Bethelmy with a foul. And another pair of free throws coming up here for Russia. This time Ivlev will go to the line. And they need to talk things over. Things not going well for Venezuela. They've only scored 2 points in the game so far. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. Back here in Foshan, the Venezuelan head coach, Fernando Duro, who is a native of Argentina, talking things over with his boys. Not getting the kind of offense he wants. They've missed a lot of layups up close.
Well, again, it's just being clinical, and you can see right now they're getting frustrated with the officials because they think that all the calls are really bad, but right now Russia's beating them into spaces, and they've got to learn how to defend off the ball. They can't allow Ivlev, they can't allow Vorontsevich to get inside the paint. You've got to bump him, be a bit more physical when he doesn't have the basketball.
Venezuela just 1 out of 7 from the floor in this game so far, shooting 14%. And a look of disappointment on the face of the Venezuelan coach Fernando Duro. You know, in spite of the fact that Venezuela shooting only 14% from the floor, it's only a 7-point game for Russia. So I thought there was a great timeout called by Venezuela just to settle things down, make sure that this lead of Russia doesn't expand.
Well, Venezuela's also biggest problem. They don't really have a true center out there at the moment. They don't even have a true power forward. Michael Carrera, Luis Bethany, those guys are small forwards. They want to get out on the perimeter a bit. I mean, Carrera now is going to have a mismatch. I mean, they've really right now, Venezuela are missing Gregory Echenique, 6'10" player, used to play for Guadalajara and then had a season in Japan, but he'd be making all the big difference for Venezuela.
Here we go in the backcourt. Super Raton Vargas bringing it down against a big man. Kurbanov is the man defending the point guard. Now it's Zamora. There's the outside shot. Doesn't fall. Bethelby actually hitting 80% from three-point distance in the World Cup. That's an amazing clip. But that time Bethelby missing from deep.
Well, Luis Bethany's on every coaching stat, every coaching note as well. Guadalajara in Liga de las Americas, he was lighting it up and he led them to the final this year, only to lose to San Lorenzo de Almagro. But again, now Venezuela have no one to blame but themselves. I mean, they're getting frustrated after every call, but you don't play this disciplined defense now. Any little mistake you make is going to send Russia to the free throw line.
Venezuela in the penalty. Vorontsevich at the line. It's just one free throw after another for Russia. And Venezuela, they've got to have the discipline to make sure they don't commit too many more fouls. They're just giving away too many points from the free throw line to Russia. Free throws again for the Russians. Super Raton Vargas in the backcourt, bringing it down. Big man on top of him, Kurbanov. Zamora in the long court. Shurio. And then it's Vargas once more. Vargas had 5 assists in the previous game against Argentina. Missing the shot. Someone was pushed underneath. It'll be a foul against Russia. Foul going against Sopin. And 14 seconds. Shot clock reset here for Venezuela on that foul by Russia. Russia now with 2 team fouls. Vargas. Outside to Churio. Super Raton. Outside. There's the bounce pass. Zamora with a drive down the baseline. And he misses. A lot of missed layups here for Venezuela. A wide shot by Bethelmy. And Zamora from the outside still doesn't get it to fall. And finally the rebound by Kurbanov. Venezuela just can't buy a basket. They're bleeding for their points.
It's a mismatch now. Again, Zamora's going to pick a foul up right here.
Vorontsevich giving it up. Kurbanov with the outside shot, not there. Rebound. Vargas on the attack, and there's a foul. A foul by Baburin on Gregory Vargas. Still just 2 points for Venezuela in this first quarter of play.
Venezuela haven't been able to hit the outside shots. They've had some good looks with Zamora and with Bethany, but they just got to knock him down right now. Russia's defense, like it was against Poland in the first quarter, very physical.
What is the field goal percentage now of Venezuela? It's probably down to less than 10%.
Well, Venezuela, as you mentioned, very full. 1 for 9 from within the rainbow, 0 for 3, 11% from 2, and 0 from 3.
Here we go down the baseline. That's Carrera carving space, getting the shot with a jump hook. And he's back to his offensive ways. Got 19 points last time out from Venezuela against Argentina.
Well, that was a strong move by Michael Carrera. As soon as he got in the low block, He did the spin-out move going baseline, just uses athleticism to elevate. Now Gregory Vargas now making a steal in transition, and Super Raton going all the way.
Oh, big offensive rebound by Carrera. Doesn't have the space. Gets it to go! Unbelievable shot here by Michael Carrera. You gotta like his guts going up against that Russian wall of defense. Oransevich passing it off to Sopin. Up against Vargas. Sopin releasing over to Kurbanov. Kurbanov. A head and shoulder move. And then a different angle. Very difficult angle there for Kurbanov. Churio. Over to Bethelmy. Now it's Vargas. Looking for Carrera. Carrera. And he got clipped on the arm.
Well, Dean, I got to tell you right now, the big thing for Venezuela is coming from the defense, and it's Churio. Churio is fronting the post players, making it very difficult for them to get that post entry, and this is now why Venezuela is able to get out of the break and play much better basketball.
Venezuela's defense forcing some bad shots on the other end of the floor. Churio with the possession over to Vargas. Vargas against Kulagin. Now it's Zamora against Vorontsevich. Zamora putting it on the floor. Oh, getting the shot! Zamora putting it on the floor. And then the high looping shot from medium range. Book it for Zamora.
Well, Dean, got to say to you, when the ball's in the net, who's the scorer? That's Zamora.
Kulagin. And now, drive down the baseline. Forced to give it up. Up ball, going around. And then Fredzon missing it. 1:48 to go here. Bethelmy, he's a hot three-point shooter. Oh, doesn't hit the rim. An 80% three-point shooter before this game has now missed 2 in a row from deep. Now watch this move here by Zamora. A pull-up jumper on the move and a swish by Zamora, drawing applause from his Venezuelan teammates.
Well, Bethelmy's going to go to the free throw line now for 2 shots. He got fouled in the process of the shot, but they're going to have to look at the replay. I thought that was a three-pointer.
Looked like a three-pointer. After he ran it. So bonus 2 shots. Oh, they're saying that the foul happened after the release, so only 2 shots. And we heard the referees making that point clear to the Venezuelan coach, Fernando Duro. Now the referees talking it over. They will give 2 free throws. That's the decision. And Bethelmy, he'll go to the line. 2 free throws. Bethelmy, averaging 4.7 points in the competition. 32 years old, standing 6'7", that's 2 meters tall. Looks like a substitution. Guillen checking in for Vargas. You know, we haven't seen those 2 players together on the floor yet in this game. I thought Vargas and Guillen made a terrific combination in that Venezuelan game against Argentina the other day.
Well, you said especially, Dean, and you move Gregory Vargas to the point guard role. What that allows is him to make some penetrations, some kickouts, and then you got Heisler Guillen, who's able to shoot it from way downtown. Now, Russia fouling Mike Carrera is going to go to the free throw line with 2 shots. Now, Russia now losing its discipline, while Venezuela now gaining the momentum. So we saw this in the Poland game, where Russia came out very strong and then just started to lose it.
Carrera fouled, going up for the offensive rebound, and he'll go to the line. So this is now just a 4-point lead, and Venezuela inching in. 1:44 to go here in the first quarter. And Michael Carrera, who played 4 years at the University of South Carolina in the US, standing 6'5", that's 196 centimeters, 26 years old, making 1 out of 2. The lead is down to 3. Vorontsevich, he's got the basketball. And then the pass inside. Oh, the shot was blocked by Carrera. And Zubkov not finding the mark.
Dude, let's look at the replay. This look comes in the lane. Carrera says, "Not in my house."
Tremendous block by Michael Carrera off that shot by Zubkov. Kulagin. Voroncevic with the outside shot. Not there. Rebound. Churio. Churio on the attack. Michael Carrera demanding the ball. He's got it now. Inside the painted area. Shovel pass over to Zamora. Not there. And another offensive rebound here for Michael Carrera, but Venezuela cannot capitalize. A low-scoring ball game. Russia up ahead by 3, but they haven't scored in a while. Fritzon looking for Voroncevic. He's got the ball. Up against Churio. Kulagin. He hasn't made much of a difference out from the outside. And then he missed. 24-second shot clock violation. Oh! They call the jump ball possession arrow going to Venezuela.
That to me is a foul on Michael Carrera, because you can see he jumped over the back and had his arms around him. For me, that's an over the back call, not a jump ball.
Karasev now checking in for Russia with 40.3 seconds to go. Venezuela basketball right now. Karasev, drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round in 2013, enjoyed 3 seasons in the NBA, playing for Cleveland and the Brooklyn Nets. Now in the ball game. Russia scrambling for possession, and they got the steal. Still in the backcourt, Kulagin. Over to Fritzon. Kulagin. They've got time in their hands, but the clock ticking away. They're looking for the last shot before the end of the first quarter. Kulagin still has it. No one to pass to. He's got to take a shot. Got to take a shot, and he does. A bad shot. Good defense by Venezuela. And the quarter ends. Russia ahead, 13-10. Been a low-scoring ball game, very defense-oriented. But Russia blanked in the last few minutes of that first quarter. Venezuela making a run. Check out some stats from the first quarter so far. And Russia from 2-point distance, they're 0 from 3 points. They're 1 out of 4, but making a living from the free throw line. That's 10 free throws out of the 13 points of Russia in this game.
Russia haven't scored a field goal within the rainbow. That is incredible. Again, relying on their free throws for the ill-disciplined defense by Venezuela, but Russia's got to pick it up right now, because almost deja vu what we saw against the Poland game.
And there was that block shot by Kolmanares and the Russian coach, Sergei Bazarevich. Ball moving around. Voroncevic hitting it from top of the key. And that was a three-pointer. Drawing applause from his Russian teammates. Here's Michael Carrera with a spin move down the baseline and then the jump hook. Watch it again from another angle. Beautiful move by Michael Carrera. Venezuelan coach Fernando Duro. And that was a pull-up jumper scored by Zamora. Guillen really hasn't made an impact in this game so far. And don't forget, the official app, FIBAWC Basketball World Cup, for live games and highlights. Download it for free. FIBAWC Basketball World Cup, the 2019 FIBA World Cup, the world's cup game. Here's Russia with the inbound. It's Fritzon doing the honors against Churio. Ivlev now passing it off to Motovilov. Motovilov over to Fritzon. Fritzon passing it off to Voroncevic. Or rather, Zubkov. Zubkov whipping it over to Ivlev. Then back to Zubkov. Too much passing. Good defense here by Venezuela, forcing that turnover.
And it's that man again, Churio, just making a nightmare of himself for the Russian post players. And again, he's the reason right now why Russia haven't got a field goal in the paint.
Venezuela has a very tough defensive unit on the floor. Here's the outside shot coming from Churio. Churio missing. Ball moving around. Karasev. He's got the ball over to Zubkov. And there's a foul by Colmenares. And earlier we talked about Guillen, the leading scorer for Venezuela, averaging 14.5 points a game. He has not scored at all in this game. Guillen going 0 in the first quarter. Now Superaton in the ball game for Venezuela.
That's the lineup that you wanted, Dean. You wanted to see Vargas play the point and Guillen play the two, but Guillen's got to be more creative, find other ways to get his points. Vargas now with the steal, and they got it in transition.
Great denial defense by Vargas, but Venezuela losing the handle. Colmenares with a turnover, and then the big drive. Oh yes, you score it. Potomilo driving it home and getting the layup. And that's the first field goal from 2-point distance scored by Russia in this game. Vargas on the outside, Superaton, and giving it off to Colmenares. He's looking to drive against Zubkov. There you go, Colmenares, a wild shot. It looks like could be an offensive foul. Yes, it is an offensive foul. Colmenares now going back to the bench, and he's replaced by Carrera. That combination we were talking about. Josh, now on the floor, as you mentioned, for Venezuela, Guillen and Vargas, they made things happen in that game of Venezuela against Argentina the other day.
Absolutely, but now the problem is Venezuela's full court press just not strong enough as booze it down, and Venezuela pay a price, and his name is Ivlev.
Ivlev getting the ball inside the hole. Two-handed slammer for him. And Russia now stretching the lead to 7. The conductor, he's got the possession. Number 19 man, Guillen. The conductor still with the ball. Inside a shaded area. Oh, he was hammered. He was hammered from behind. And the Russian coach, Bazarevich, is livid. He didn't want to give up that foul. Shot clock almost out on Venezuela. Watch it right here.
It's a ridiculous foul to give away because, you know, you're at the end of the shot clock. It's not even a block what he's doing. He's swiping at him. You can understand why coach is upset.
And here was that big play by Russia. Ivlev missing the shot, and then the offensive rebound, getting it to fall inside with a two-handed slammer.
Well, you can definitely see that Venezuela in their offense right now here, just at the beginning of the second quarter, look a little bit fatigued, but at the moment, they just need a little bit more movement off the ball, maybe a couple of penetrations going to the basket. Right now, they haven't been able to get their shots on the perimeter. Luis Bethany now hits that first free throw.
There's the other Vargas on your screens. And then his brother, Gregory Vargas. So you've got the Vargas brothers playing for Venezuela. Jose was actually much taller than Gregory. Jose Vargas standing 6'5", 196 centimeters. And Gregory Vargas on the floor right now, standing 5'11", 180 centimeters. And I was talking to Superaton, and he was telling me, why is there such a big difference, as I was asking him, between you brothers in terms of height? Well, he said his mother was tall and his father is small. Here's Ivlev, outside to Zubkov. Doesn't get it to fall. Another time, another possession for Russia. And still, no connection from three-point distance by Russia. Karasev missing it from deep.
Russia now had two good looks there from the perimeter, and simply two very wide open looks. They got to make it, because if they don't, it could be again a same relapse of what happened against Poland. Now Dwight pulling up at 8 feet, can't get it.
Dwight Lewis missing from the outside. And for Venezuela, you need a lot better ball movement. That ball's going to go around. You want the ball in the hands of their point guard. Right now it's Gregory Vargas on the floor. Guillen also on the floor. So you want the ball in the hands of the conductor, Guillen. Oh, a slip. And here's Russia on the attack. It's Karasev. Oh, he lost it. He lost it to Ruiz. And then on the other end of the floor, it's Lewis with the basket. Dwight Lewis with the basket for Venezuela off that Russian turnover.
Well, Venezuela made one turnover down the other end. Now, Dwight did slip over, and again, they're sorting it out, but Russia got to be better on the fast break.
Motovilov over to Zubkov. That ball going around. Karasev, he's got the ball. Wide open is Zubkov. There's the shot and the miss. Dwight Lewis with a rebound. Passing it out to Gijen. That's the shot. That's the shot. The conductor hitting it from downtown. Gijen. Book it. Three-pointer for Venezuela. And the score is tied with 6:33 to go here in the second quarter. We've got a timeout on the floor. What a ball game we're watching. Check out some interesting stats here. Venezuela 29% from two-point distance. Russia 25%. And in terms of free throws, Russia with a big edge. 10 free throw conversions, so only 4 from Venezuela. Russia's defense collapsing. Venezuela's defense looking good.
Well, Russia's not going to what was working at the first quarter. They were forcing the issue down the low block and getting to the free throw line, and they're not making the perimeter shots. So you got to go back to what works. If you're not going to make the perimeter shots, then they got to think of other ways to score in this game. Because right now, Venezuela dominating this game.
Well, Dwight Lewis scoring on the break, and then Dwight Lewis dishing it off to a wide open Gijen, and he's not going to miss from that distance. Gijen making sure a three-point shot for him, the conductor. And the fans loving the action here in Foshan. Gijen hitting that big three-pointer just a while back as the score is now tied. Russia in the backcourt, full court press by Venezuela. Gijen up against Motovilov, and then Zubkov. Now Russia going to size. Zubkov looking for the man inside. Good deflection. Maburin has it. 6 seconds on the shot clock. There's the outside shot. Oh, not there at all. But Russia getting another possession. Motovilov has it on the outside. Motovilov looking for Ivlev. He's got it back. Motovilov. That defense is swarming. And there's the shot. 2 men down here. They call the foul. It might be against Russia. Or it could be against Venezuela. Let's see.
Yeah, I think it's on Venezuela.
Yeah,
you can see Gregory Vargas just going over the back. But again, Ivlev, Kurbanov just making life so difficult for themselves. Now, Savage is back in the game. What they need is someone just to plant themselves in the low block. Churio is really the difference in this game right now for Venezuela. He's not allowing any Russian post player in the paint. And when they get it, he's playing some excellent man-to-man post defense.
Well, Venezuela giving up the outside shot to Russia. But Russia just can't connect from deep. Those perimeter shots not falling for Russia. And as we mentioned, Russia not really a good outside shooting team. That's where Russia should get the points, from close to the basket, and Ivlev delivering the 2 points for Russia.
Well, that's what Ivlev's got to do. Anytime he gets the ball in the lob block, you either got to back down or just go aggressively to the basket. And Russia now, I think that's only their correct 3rd field goal inside the rainbow tonight.
Gijen. And that's the floater. And that's the connection. Finding himself inside the painted area. Gijen. Tremendous shot. And a beautiful teardrop for Gijen. Score is tied. That ball off Venezuela. You know, it might have been off Russia. Michael Guerrero is saying, can we look at the replay? Watch it right here.
That's come off Guerrero.
Ah, that's a close call. Close call. Might have hit the knee of Motovilov.
You might be right, Dean, but again, from that angle, I don't know, I mean...
Difficult to see. But 11 seconds on the shot clock here for Russia. They will get back possession. Kulagin. Kulagin with only 2 points in this game so far. Up. That's a travel violation on the inbound. You've got to be able to establish your position. You can't take steps as you're throwing the inbound from the end line. So that's a travel, that's a violation. Turnover against Russia. Guillen, the conductor with the basketball. As we mentioned earlier, 7 assists at least for him in 3 of the 4 games here in the World Cup. Now being very offense-minded, doesn't get it to fall. But Venezuela has possession again. Vargas to the conductor. Michael Carrera begging for the ball. And he's got it inside. He doesn't score. Ruiz has it. Ruiz still has it. And they pass it out. 11 seconds on the shot clock for Venezuela. You like the hustle being displayed here by Venezuela. And there's the outside shot, not falling inside. But we did say Venezuela is #1 in offensive rebounds in this competition. And you saw it there, right there. The testament to the stat, 16.5 offensive rebounds for Venezuela. That's the highest of any team in offensive rebounding in the World Cup.
Right now, Venezuela just wanted more. I mean, they're hungry for any second opportunities. Isaac Guillen, you can see there, beautiful ball handling. They're able to get a double crossover. Couldn't make the shot. But again, Ruiz, Churio, Michael Carrera just going for any opportunity. And now it's going to go 2 free throws for Russia. Venezuela's in the penalty. Russia, again, only 1 team foul right now.
Russia will go to the line. That's Kurbanov at the stripe. See a lot of beautiful people watching the action here in Foshan. Actually, the last day of competition in Foshan. Zamora checking in. As we said previously, both Russia and Venezuela are guaranteed of slots to play in the Olympic qualifiers. There will be 4 Olympic qualifying competitions for 24 teams. 16 of them will come from this World Cup, depending on how they finish. There will be 7 tickets earned by the best finishers from different regions here in the World Cup, plus 1 ticket reserved for host nation Japan for the Olympics. So 8 tickets will be given out for the Olympics at the end of the World Cup. And then there will be 4 tickets to be decided in 4 different Olympic qualifying competitions involving 24 teams. And those 24 teams will include Venezuela and Russia. Here we go with Carrera. Nice spin move. Doesn't get it to fall. But a foul underneath. A foul is called underneath.
Well, that's a good call by the official because Ruiz is coming in aggressively to get the rebound. Just gives a bit of a nudge in the back to Vorontsevich, I believe. What was it called? Kulagin, I'm not sure. But again now, Russia going to go to the free throw line for 2 more shots.
And if you're Venezuela, you don't want this to happen. You're just giving away too many free throws. Well, we saw that happen in that game between Russia and Poland, in a game where Russia lost 79-74, but they gave up 38 free throws to Poland, and Poland connecting on 35 of those 38 free throw attempts.
We spoke to the Polish national team coach, and remember the free throw game they play in practice with their coaches. No surprise to see them make 35 for 38, but right now Russia doing a good job of getting to the free throw line in this game. So far this evening, Russia doing very, very well, shooting 12 for 14, as opposed to Venezuela only 4 for 6.
Here's Baburin with the free throws, missing his first attempt. Russia holding on to a precarious 2-point lead. 4 minutes and 6 left here in the first half. See Michael Carrera being attended to by the team physician. 1 out of 2 for Baburin. Zamora with the inbound. Looking for Guillen. and finds Guillen. A lot of pressure in the backcourt. Kurbanov providing the trap defense. Venezuela now safely across the timeline. A 3-point lead enjoyed by Russia. Guillen. A nice crossover. And then the pass to Dwight Lewis. There's the shot and the connection to Dwight Lewis. But Guillen driving down the baseline. That conductor finding the open man.
I'll tell you what, Guillen is just unbelievable. Shake and bake, double crossover. It goes baseline, spots out Dwight Lewis, who just strokes a jump shot off the dribble.
Here's Kulagin, looking for the man in the corner. Baburin off to the low post. Good passing here by Russia. Kulagin, doesn't hit anything. An air ball by Kulagin. A miserable shooting night for him so far. Guillen over to Bethelmy. And he doesn't connect from deep. 1-point game. Russia in the driver's seat. It's Kulagin. Kurbanov. And then the pass inside Ivlev. Almost losing it. It's back to Ivlev. He's at the low post. Going up against Ruiz. And that ball off Ivlev. Good post defense by Venezuela. Denying Ivlev that open space close to the basket.
You can see what they had. Colmenares in the first quarter. Colmenares now getting into a bit of foul trouble with the post plays. But right now, Ruiz and Churio just setting the tone for this Venezuelan post defense. Russia getting very frustrated in the low block.
Guillen bringing up the ball against Kulagin. Bethelmy hasn't found the mark from the outside. Dwight Lewis asking for the ball. He's got it. And then he lost possession. Not able to handle it. Feeling the pressure given by the Russian guard Baburin. And Baburin now wiping that precious basketball. Zubkov checking in for Ivlev. Zubkov averaging 10.8 points a game in the World Cup. Kulagin looking for Baburin. Still with Kulagin. There's a screen by Vorontsevich. Kulagin going up against Guillen. Vorontsevich with a fake and the drive, a spin move, and he will go to the line.
Well, that's better from Vorontsevich because again, just went inside the paint and really I felt like he should have taken the first one, but what he's done is now he's just given Russia another trip to the free throw line.
And you like what Russia is doing. They're not settling for those outside shots that Venezuela is giving up. They're working that ball close to the basket, getting the ball in the hands of their bigs. And that's their game. They wanted a physical bruising game. They want their power players to come close to the basket and score the points. Russia on top by 1, 22-21. 2 minutes and 8 to go here in the first half. We've got a timeout on the floor. Venezuela suing for time. Back here in Foshan as we check out 8 Russian turnovers against 5 for Venezuela. And the points off turnovers, Venezuela with the advantage, 4-3. It's been a tight ball game, Josh. Very defense-oriented.
Well, the problem for Russia right now is, again, both these teams haven't shot well from the perimeter. Now, in respect to Venezuela, Russia played the best team basketball. You can see they spread the floor, they penetrate. But if you don't shoot the basketball very well, you're not going to win this game. And they haven't been able to make any open shots.
And for Venezuela, they've got to manage their fouls, giving up too many free throws. If they had only given up half the free throws that they've surrendered to Russia so far, they would be up ahead in this game.
I would probably think it'd be better for Venezuela to play a 2-3 zone of some sort because Russia just really struggling from the perimeter. But again, with Russia's size and height, it would be an easy high-low game for them against that 2-3 zone. So probably better Venezuela stay into his physical man-to-man defense because Ruiz is just causing all sorts of problems for their post players.
Here's Vorontsevich at the line with another free throw. That's a lot of free throws now for Russia.
14 for 17 from the stripe so far here in the first half, and Venezuela only 4 for 6.
And more than half of Russia's points coming from the free throw line. That's 15 out of 18 now from the free throw line for Russia in this game. And they've only scored 24 points. Gijen, the conductor. He's got the possession. Up against Zubkov. The drive by Gijen. Whipping that ball around. Dwight Lewis. Gijen has it. He's looking for a shot. Doesn't get it to fall. Shot clock out on Venezuela. Baburin.
Oh, just how long is Zubkov going to stand in the low block? I mean, it felt like he's making a camp out there.
Here's Zubkov again. Looking to get the pass, but he's not getting field position. There's Baburin. Not making the shot. Venezuela. On the attack is Gijen. Gijen almost losing the ball. Over to Lewis. Zamora in the long court. Zamora with a crossover. There's a foul by Kurbanov. And Russia still with 2 fouls to give. Not getting the penalty. Gregory Vargas checking in Super Raton for the conductor Gijen. Dwight Lewis. He will be inbounding for Venezuela. Been a close one here in Foshan. Just a 3-point lead by Russia.
Dude, Venezuela's issue right now is they're relying too much on isolation basketball, and they're renowned for their run and gun sort of fast break, but we're already in the 5th game of the tournament. These players are fatigued. They got to have something to fall back on, and Zamora nails it from downtown.
And guess what? We've got a tied ball game. Zamora with a big 3-pointer. You know that he can light it up from outside, and he just did. Kulagin over to Vorontsevich. Vorontsevich passing it off to Kulagin. Kulagin not a factor offensively in this game. Vorontsevich over to Baburin. Kurbanov with the outside shot. And then another possession here for Russia. This time Kulagin hitting it from 3-point distance. And it looks like an unsportsmanlike foul has been called. There is the gesture from the referees. And that might want to go to the IRS, the instant replay system, to review what happened. But there was a call for an unsportsmanlike, and they're going to look it over. They're going to go to the IRS. And let's listen in to what the referees have to say.
We check unsportsmanlike upgrade, downgrade.
Yes.
And let's go from normal speed.
It's a push, and I don't see the contact in the face. What is your criteria for the unsportsmanlike?
C2, excessive and hard.
It's not excessive.
Okay.
It's just a push. For me,
Alright,
it's a personal foul. Okay.
Yep, okay.
20 blue, and we go from the sideline,
Alright.
from the baseline.
Okay. Okay.
You show?
Yep. Okay. So 20 blue.
20 blue. Okay. It's a push, and we go there. He just push you because you were grabbing, and we go that side. Hey, yeah!
And you heard it from the referees. A regular foul. So the foul has been downgraded. Initially, an unsportsmanlike foul was called. It has been downgraded upon review of the IRS. And you know, we've said it time and again, Josh, that IRS system has been a great boost here in making the right calls in the FIBA World Cup.
Well, Dean, that's just an excellent decision by Johan Rosa, because the referee, Takaki, made a great point that it was an elbow, but 10 seconds ago here, as Vargas goes baseline, kicks out Zamora, another three-pointer!
That's back-to-back three-pointers by Zamora. 4.5 seconds to go here in the half, and Zamora lighting it up from distance. We've got a tied ball game, another timeout on the floor, this time by Russia. They've adjusted the time left. It's 6.6 seconds left before the end of the first half. Russia will be inbounding. Watch it right here. A beautiful pass coming from Suparaton. And then the three-point connection by Zamora. That's his second for the game.
Well, this is going to be a very big test for Venezuela because 6.6 left. Any foul will send Russia to the free throw line. So they're going to be very disciplined right now.
Zubkov taking a lot of time. They've got to hurry. Zubkov taking the shot. Oh, doesn't hit anything. And the time has run out. The end of the first half. Zubkov with a terrible shot. Good defense by Venezuela. Not allowing Russia a decent look. And Baburin talking to his teammates. Ruining the bad execution with 6.6 seconds to go. An inbound from the backcourt. Russia not able to get off a good shot. The score is tied 27-all. It's a good one here in Foshan. And check out some stats at the half. Both teams not hitting even 30% from the floor. So it's been a poor shooting night for both clubs, or rather both national teams. Russia with the edge in rebounds. Russia with 3 more turnovers than Venezuela. As you check out the leading scorers of this ball game for Venezuela, it's Zamora. He hit those 2 big back-to-back threes towards the end of the first half. Ivlev and Vorontsevich with 7 apiece. Neither team with any player in double figures so far. And Russia getting a lot of free throws, staying in the game with shots from the line. And you see that basket right here by Ruiz, rather missing the basket from close distance. As you see, the Venezuelan coach, Fernando Duro, scratching his head. Here's the big rebounding battle between Fritzov and Carrera. The pass going out of bounds, and then a look of dejection and exasperation on the face of Coach Duro. And a beautiful drive by Russia. You watch it from another angle, that's Kulagin. He's got 5 points at the half, including a 3-pointer. The pass inside. And then Ivlev missing, getting the offensive rebound, and then the putback with the 2 hands. Watch it from a different angle. Oh, we're getting some beautiful angles here. With 20 cameras aimed at the action here in Foshan. And the Russian team applauding the effort, applauding the basket. Dijen from the outside, book it from deep. And what do you think, the way this game has gone so far, Josh?
Oh, it's a scrappy ball game right now. You can see neither team really able to cement themselves. The shooting percentage is very poor. Both teams now with 3 3-point field goals. Also Russia with only 2, but Russia only 3 field goals within the rainbow. And you can see Venezuela, a very tough-nosed team. They'll keep going back at it, and really, you can see Ivlev getting blocked by the backboard. The backboard getting an assist in this game. But they've got to play more discipline. They've got to just sort of structure themselves a little bit better, get some better open shots, but they're going to have to force the issue down low if they're going to come out with a victory tonight, Russia.
Well, we're going to expect an exciting second half of action. When we come back, second half hostilities in this game. The score is tied. Russia, Venezuela, 27 apiece.
Schroeder playing with 5. The dish inside to Thornton. It's the Dennis Schroeder show. We all have a ticket to it.
Liz kicks it out, Vargas, and it throws it down! Give him the poster! Flex on him, young man, flex on them!
Wow, Vargas.
All the way through, dancing through the defense. A box office blow from Barnes.
It is the good change of direction, trying to kick him on the sideline, cuts back to the middle. No help, dunk.
Out loose is Patty Mills, fast break opportunity, behind the back, fine, up and in and one! What a play from the Aussies! Trying to go up himself. Goes right in. Oh my goodness! What a throw down by Vincent Poirier!
Wow, I almost fell off our commentary position for that one. That was unbelievable athleticism from the big man.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
back here in Foshan. And Josh, looking at the free throw stats, Russia 15 out of 18, Venezuela 4 out of 6, giving up a lot of free throws. Russia outscoring Venezuela by 11 free throws, and the score is tied.
Well, the free throws the only thing going right now for Russia. I mean, Russia came out, dominating this game 13-2, but then Venezuela made a few changes in the lineup with Curio and bringing in, of course, Ruiz, and then that just sort of made life a lot difficult. But you're right, free throws only thing right now that's keeping them in this.
Another big stat for Russia is in the rebounding department. They're out rebounding Venezuela 17-11, although Venezuela already with 9 offensive rebounds.
Well, Venezuela getting a lot of second chance. Again, that's what's really going to keep them in this game, going for all those offensive rebounds. But you saw it at the end there. Zamora nailing down 2 3-pointers. That could be a problem for Russia if he hits fire in the second half.
Interestingly, Venezuela with more offensive rebounds, 9-2 against Russia. But in second chance points, Russia with more, 7-4, meaning Venezuela, even if they're getting second chance opportunities, they're not converting.
No, Venezuela has really struggled in and around the basket side. They started with Nessa Colmenares. Now, he's on the bench here, coming in the second half. Again, he had one good look at the low block, but you can see Venezuela were struggling. Now, Venezuela don't really have a true center out there. Michael Carrera is really their big man on the offense, while Ruiz is really their big man on the defense. But they got to keep it going from the perimeter if they're going to win this game tonight.
The Chinese fans, they're enjoying what's going on here in Foshan. This is an excellent game that we're watching. The score is tied. Here we go. The start of the second half. The third quarter now on the way. Guillen with the basketball. Still with Guillen. Zamora, he's been the hot guy here from Venezuela. Guillen with the outside shot. Doesn't get a fall. Michael Carrera bringing that ball down. Offensive board for him. Now it's Dwight Lewis in the long court. And there's the pick by Ruiz. Lewis trying to carve space. Oh, gets it to go.
Well, that's a lot better for Dwight Lewis there. The isolation crossover. And again, Russia looking very frail on defense.
Kulagin over to Fritzon. Fritzon on the outside. Looking for the man inside. And then missing the shot from close distance. Vorontsevich couldn't get the drop right here. This was the shot earlier made by Dwight Lewis on the drive, using the ball screen. And then looking really happy about that shot.
Well, Vorontsevich did such a good job to seal off Dwight Lewis in the low block, but again, you can see they're just getting so frustrated. Michael Carrera just coming over, making himself a very big defensive presence. And again, this man's only 6'5", but he's playing the role of someone who's got to be 7 foot.
Well, Venezuela realizing that Russia liking to get the ball in the hands of the big guys inside. So they're concentrating on the interior defense. There's the pick. Another pick set by Ruiz now on the pick and roll. And it's Carrera. A beautiful extra pass off the pick and roll. Carrera with a baseline jumper.
Well, getting into dangerous areas, and Ruiz just had a 1-2 situation, gave a bounce pass, and Michael Carrera just elevated very high on his jump shot, able to sink it down.
Curbano over to Kulagin. And then still with Kulagin and Fritz. Oh, Fritzon blocked.
Second time tonight, Zamora goes in like the Iceman, and it's timeout to Russia. Venezuela taking over this game.
And what about Zamora with that big drive to the hole in transition, off the block shot. Defense fueling the offense, and Venezuela up on top now by 6 points. Russia forced to call a timeout. We'll be back. Check out the stats as you hear Russian coach, Sergei Bazarevich, trying to fire up his boys. Russia needing to pick up its intensity. Fritzon was blocked. After the block, Venezuela off to the races, scoring in transition on the other end. Watch it right here. Here was the extra pass, finding Carrera with the open baseline jumper. Off the pick and roll. Perfect execution by Venezuela. And then the block shot. Carrera with a block. Carrera looking for the lead pass, finding Zamora. And Zamora finishing the break.
Russia right now don't really have any perimeter shooters out there on the floor now. Motovilov's come in, probably just to give him a better option from the backcourt, probably some few more penetrations, but oh, there is the FIBA president, of course, back in the house. We saw him probably coming to cheer on his nation, Argentina, as they take on a very inspiring Poland national team later on.
Mr. Horacio Muratore, the FIBA president, and he will give up the reins of the presidency to Mr. Hamane Niang of Mali, who's been elected the new FIBA president, who takes over at the end of this World Cup. Motovilov, oh, with a drive, with the connection. Motovilov, how did he find the space to make that happen?
Well, Motovilov, again, we saw that against Poland, does a very good job, very slippery player, like a Mamba, if you like, just gets in and around defenders.
Guillen on the outside, finding Zamora, he'll take it again, and he'll make it again! That's a three-pointer for Zamora, and he's on fire, he's got 13 points, 3 triple connections in this game so far for Zamora.
Well, what Zamora is able to do right now is spread the floor for Venezuela, which causes a big problem for the defense. Isaac Guillen goes there, Motovilov follows up, but...
And it looks like a foul they will call against Russia on the push. Motovilov almost had it again, creating the opportunity, fighting the space, but that time not finding the mark with the layup. Zamora putting it on the floor against Kurbanov. Michael Carrera over to Dwight Lewis. And now Guillen with the basketball. Time running out in the shot clock of Venezuela. Got to put it up, and he does, but he misses. Shot clock almost out on Venezuela. Another air ball. 2 consecutive air balls by Venezuela. Shot clock out on Venezuela. Tremendous defense by Russia.
Dean, I can't understand that play. Why Isaac Guillen gave it to Zamora to bring the ball up. Right now, if I'm Venezuela, give the ball to Isaac Guillen. Let him create. Stick Zamora on the perimeter. Penetrate, kick out, or dish out to a big man. But again, you want Zamora to get some more shots on the perimeter right now. He's on fire.
Motovilov over to Kurbanov. And then the pass inside. Kurbanov. The extra pass. Vorontsevich. Shot clock almost out here on Russia. And here's Ivlev finding himself wide open. Doesn't get it to fall. Ivlev missing from point-blank distance. Here's Guillen. Over to Michael Carrera. Carrera with a mid-range jumper. Oh, doesn't get it to fall. Kurbanov with a defensive board. Motovilov. Oh, nice deflection. And then the steal. Here's Venezuela on the attack. Looking for Zamora. Doesn't get it to fall that time from deep. Motovilov looking for his teammates. Now setting the table.
Ivlev now giving up 2 opportunities for Russia in the low block. He gets the ball in the low block and he doesn't even look to score now as Kurbanov finally 6-1 from downtown for Russia here in the third quarter.
Kurbanov with a big 3-point connection. Guillen over to Carrera. Carrera looking for Dwight Lewis. Can't find Lewis. Now the defense is all over him. Fritzon. And looks like a violation there against Carrera.
It's a poor situation for Venezuela. Carrera picked the ball up and you saw 4 Venezuelan players. Kurbanov sticking it for downtown, but 4 Venezuelan players just standing around looking. You're up in this game, you build momentum, you got to move to the ball, do something, go back door. Standing still, just not good enough.
Well, severe pressure on the defense there by Carrera, forcing him to that 5-second violation. Fritz on now with the possession against Lewis, and there's a switch. Voroncevic, a nice pass inside. He had all day to find the basket, and making the mark there was Valiev.
What a beautiful low post pass there. And, you know, again, Voroncevic did so well. The pressure came on him. Just a simple dish off, and Russia need more of that here in the third quarter.
Dwight Lewis inside, and he will not score. And it looks like Venezuelan ball. But what about Valiev scoring on the reverse off the pass coming from Voroncevic? Watch it right here.
A slight little hesitation there. I mean,
yeah.
You can see Valiev, just as he got it, Russia looking very uncertain when they're in the low block. It's almost like they're feeling precarious. They've literally just got to get it there and go to work. If you don't get it, draw a foul or something.
Valiev didn't play in the first half. That time, a little bit of hesitation, but then he made sure of the basket. Vargas, oh, nice move. On the low block against Baburin, and exploiting that mismatch, Vargas with a shot. And a big three-point connection there.
That's been a good substitution for Russia, bringing in Motovilov, because already you saw the one penetration where he just split the defense, and now hitting the shot from downtown, just giving Russia a little bit of confidence. But again, look at the mismatch here. Vargas simply unstoppable. Venezuela needs to keep going to him in the low block.
The power move by Jose Vargas against Baburin, recognizing the mismatch and then going against it to score off the block. Here's Vargas. Over to Churio. Vargas again, still going to that mismatch against Baburin. He's not looking to score, he's looking to pass. Oh, ball picked up here by Motovilov. Fritzon with a drive. Doesn't get it to fall. Betelmi with a rebound. Venezuela on the attack. Vargas saying, hold on, let's set it up in the half court. Vargas looking for his brother Jose. Jose at the block. He's being hemmed in. Carrera moving close to the basket, and he will elevate for the basket. Michael Carrera with 2 points. The lead is 3 for Venezuela.
Well, that's a strong move by Michael Carrera again, just having that quick first step, getting in the key and elevating very high. That's a part of his game he's got to develop if he wants to keep playing a high level of professional basketball.
Voroncevic from the outside. Oh! Getting him to go! An outside bomb! Voroncevic hitting it from way, way deep. And the score is tied. Vargas in the long court. Vargas on the drive. Churio with the outside shot. Not there. Fritzon, easy rebound. And now it's Baburin. Russia looking to break the tie. Man of the hour is Motovilov. Motovilov still has it. And then the drive. Oh, what a shot! What a shot! An underhanded shot by Motovilov. Score the basket for Russia. And they're now back in the lead. 42-40. We've got a timeout on the floor. Josh, what a basket by Motovilov as you have Venezuela asking for a timeout.
Well, that's just been a key tactical change for Venezuela, for Russia, where they took out Kalagin, which I thought was going to be their best perimeter threat, but Motovilov now coming in with 2 strong drives. Dude, just how on earth did he get that finger roll off?
Unbelievable underhanded shot by Motovilov. As now we hear the Venezuelan coach, Fernando Duro of Argentina. Venezuela is giving up 5 straight points here to Russia. A big 3-point basket scored by Voroncevic. And then the underhanded layup by Motovilov. As you see the 3-point connections here, the average by Venezuela. You see Michael Carrera on your screens. Here was that pass over to Voroncevic. Hitting it from outside. And that created the tie 40-all, and then Motovilov with a drive, the underhanded shot, nothing but net off the window. And then the Russian fans loving the action as Russia back in the driver's seat in this game.
Russia's got to maintain the momentum right now. Keep Motovilov at the point guard role, but now Carrera, bit of time and space, gets away with a travel.
Could have been a travel there against Carrera, but he released inside the shaded area. And Bethelmi getting the ball and putting it up. And what was the call? Might have been a foul, the connection, and he will go to the line for the bonus. So they count the basket for Bethelmi. The score is tied once more. Bethelmi looking to break the tie with the free throw.
Well, you can see the officials now, well, sorry, the Russian players talking with the officials. I mean, that was a traveling violation on Michael Carrera, but again, Russia got to play to the whistle because Louis Bethelmi came in with a loose ball. Now they've just sent him to the free throw line.
Strong against the iron. That shot by Bethelmi. The score remains tied. Baburin. Over to Motovilov. And then the pass inside. Almost stolen. Baburin with the outside shot. Got it again! Got it again! Baburin with a three-point connection for Russia.
Well, it's a 4-3 of the quarter now for Russia. Russia really coming out like a house on fire in this quarter.
And there's the foul. There's the foul on Valiev. He's now playing tough defense against Carrera. But you don't want to give up a foul with that distance from the basket. Guigent now checking in for Venezuela to play the point guard position. And Coach Fernando Duro again with that vaunted Venezuelan backcourt of Gregory Vargas and Guigent playing together. But Russia hitting it from the outside, Josh, a team that isn't known for its outside shooting.
Well, too right. I mean, they're getting some good looks right now. But again, we talked about the free throws keeping Russia in this game at the beginning, but now it's a three-point shooting that's keeping them alive here in the second half.
Guigent with a crossover, and then the step back. Oh, it doesn't get it a fall. Carrera almost with the offensive rebound. With the ball off him, and Russia will get back possession with 1:44 to go in the third quarter. Vorontsevich giving it over to Motovilov. Motovilov has made an impact here in the third quarter for Russia. Vorontsevich over to Valiev in the long court. The pass inside. Not finding the mark there was Kurbanov. Motovilov. Little bit of a shake and bake. Vorontsevich faking the shot. And then the outside bomb, not there for Motovilov.
Russia overload too much. They've got too many players on one side of the floor. They've got to spread out, throw it down low, let the big men go to work. They sometimes have 4 players on one side of the floor.
Here's Carrera inside the shaded area, hemmed in, and then the ball batted out. Here's Motovilov. He will be fouled. And Venezuela, a lot of fouls to give. That was just their first team foul.
19. Stop.
And that's the Colmenares now checking back into the game, and he's got to really focus and switch on now because he hasn't played since the first quarter.
What has he done so far in this game? Only 2 points across his name. 51.6 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Russia on top by 3. Motovilov. And he's keeping Kulagin on the bench. Motovilov with a drive, and he missed. But there's an offensive rebound. And Valiev, who didn't play in the entire first half, with a second basket of the game.
Well, it's a lot better for Russia. Motovilov again making a very strong drive. Just gets a little slight miss and a block, probably a foul, but again the follow-up. Venezuela punish themselves without boxing out.
Now a 5-point lead for Russia. Valiev, standing 6'9", 2 meters and 5. Colmenares Over to Vargas. Ball batted away by Motovilov. Super Raton with the inbound. Looking for a friend. And there's Ruiz. Super Raton. He's got the possession.
Venezuela played some good stuff here in the second half, and they just have these little moments, little glitches where they make silly Costieras. Now, Colmenares looking for Isaac Eugene.
4 seconds to go, 3 seconds. They've got to put up a shot. There's Vargas with the attempt. Doesn't get it to fall. And now Russia with 17 seconds to go here in the half. Looking for the last shot. Russia on top by 6. Venezuela now under the gun. Motovilov. And there's the foul. Venezuela, a lot of fouls to give. That's just their second team foul. Make that 3 team fouls for Venezuela. Still one more to give with 5.9 seconds to go. Venezuela do not want Russia to score any more points here in this quarter. Russia with a 6-point lead. Venezuela looking to play tough defense. They have 1 foul to give. Russia with the inbound. Motovilov. He'll probably look for Zubkov, maybe Kurbanov. There's the inside pass. And it's Zubkov. And he misses. He misses. And that's it. The end of 3 quarters. And Russia on top, 48. Venezuela, 42. We'll be back for the 4th quarter of this exciting basketball game. What about some stats right here, Josh?
Well, Russia shot a very impressive 4 3-point field goals there in that, but they picked it up from inside the paint. But again, the free throws, just not enough from Venezuela. They got to be a bit more aggressive going to the basket, and that could be a big difference in this game, Dean.
And look at that pass to a wide open Michael Carrera. And then the drive and the block by Carrera, triggering that fast break. And Zamora with the transition basket of the beautiful defense on the other end by Michael Carrera. And then that drive by Motovilov. Watch it right here. Motovilov finding a wide open Kurbanov who connects from outside. And Valiev getting the drop pass from Vorontsevich. And the Russian fans applauding. Here was that low post move by Vargas off Baburin. And Gregory Vargas applauding that play. His brother connecting from the low block. Vorontsevich from the outside. Russian fans loving it. 10 more minutes of action here in this game. This is the farewell game of both Russia and Venezuela here at the FIBA World Cup. Although they're not advancing to the quarterfinals, Josh, they are assured of tickets to the Olympic qualifying tournament.
Well, this game, as we said, is so important for that reason, Dean. And again, both these two teams, again, off the back of 2 disappointing results. Again, as you said, something to look forward to. But again, I want to say this game is more about pride right now. Venezuela really fighting for it. Russia just trying to discover their identity now. Again, these players have a big point to prove.
And Russia has lost 5 of their last 7 games where they have scored less than 75 points. So Russia needing to pick up the scoring here with 1 quarter left. Here's a turnover against Russia, a steal by Venezuela. But for Venezuela, they have lost all 7 games against European teams in the World Cup. 5 of those 7 games were by at least 11 points. So Venezuela hoping to break the streak with a victory here against Russia.
So Venezuela, for them, it's about a little bit of adrenaline bust. When they start to make their shots from Zamora, then they become a very lethal team. But again, sometimes they just make costly turnovers that really kill them.
Vargas with the possession. Still Vargas. Oh, look at that reverse layup by Vargas. Doesn't need anything, but Venezuela still has possession. 7 seconds on the shot clock. The shot clock must not reset. Here's the outside bomb coming from Vargas, hitting the glass, but not falling in. Now Russia with the possession. And they throw the ball out of bounds. Poor communication between Kurbanov and Matovilov. Zamora checking in now for Guillen. So a big lineup on the floor here for coach Fernando Duro.
Well, Russia making some very careless turnovers themselves. Again, back-to-back plays where they just haven't been able to take care of the basketball. They built a good lead going into this fourth quarter, and they're just giving Venezuela every opportunity to get back in it.
Gregory Vargas, he has not scored in this game. He's got 2 assists. Zamora, he's got 13 points in the game, including 3 three-point connections. Colmenares with a strong drive. He will be fouled on the way to the hole.
Well, that's a lot better from Nesta Colmenares. The backdoor play that just saves Zamora. And again, look how aggressively he goes to the basket. Now he's going to get the 2 free throws that he's been wanting for the past 2 games.
Colmenares with just 2 points in this contest. Not a single rebound across his name. Fernando Duro, the Venezuelan coach. Colmenares at the line. And you know him to be a very aggressive inside player, Josh.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it in Liga de las Americas. I mean, very tough as nails, but we just haven't seen the last 2 days. And again, I think it's just a battle of mental test for him. You know, he's got to play through. He's got 1 quarter to go here. Got to try and fight through the mental tests.
Missing the first free throw is Colmenares. And making the second free throw, Colmenares, one of the veterans of the Venezuelan team, 32 years old. He played for a small Kentucky University, Campbellsville in the U.S. Kurbanov over to Motovilov. Motovilov in the long court. Over to Baburin. And then Motovilov. Shot clock 7-6. Motovilov looking to score. Putting up a prayer. Not there, good defense. I thought the ball didn't move around as it should have in that sequence by Russia.
Well, Vargas gets rejected, but Zamora now, 4th three-pointer coming up. Can't get it.
Fall. Zamora missing from deep. Russia with the possession. 5-point lead. Kulagin has not been sent back in by Russian coach Mazarevich. Baburin in the long court. Over to Valiev, and then the foul inside the painted area against Zamora. Zubkov had sealed possession.
Well, that's much better for Russia. You can see they spread the floor with 4 perimeter players, which allows Zubkov just to go in and cement the space. Now, when he's down there by himself, he's going to cause Venezuela to commit more fouls. Russia maintain this lead, get it to the penalty as quick as possible.
Dwight Lewis checking back in, as well as Fritzon for Russia. And we're not seeing too much of Kulagin in this game.
Well, he hasn't shot the ball really well, and you can see Russia turning the ball over. Being very sloppy, both teams being very sloppy, but again, I'm not seeing Kulagin, but I think Michael Carrera, I don't know if he's hurt or not, should be in the game for Venezuela.
It's a critical period here. 7:54 to go. Russia on top by 5. And you're so right, Josh. I think Venezuela might need an aggressive scorer like Carrera in the ball game. And maybe also their point guard, the conductor. Guillen is sitting on the bench. Gregory Vargas up against Motovilov. Vargas looking to set the table. Still Vargas. No one to pass to. Finally finds Colmenares. Shot clock 8. Shot clock going down. Colmenares has to make his move. And he was fouled going up. They call the foul on Zubkov.
Well, that's now the 4th team foul for Russia. And again, Dean, I'll make the point. Venezuela getting to the penalty earlier. They are trailing this game. Ideally, if Russia was to get the penalty now, I could see this game would be over because Venezuela would be chasing the game. When you're chasing the game, you end up having to take chances. But Venezuela doing themselves big favors now. One more foul, they'll automatically go to the free throw line.
The foul was on Vorentsevich, not on Zubkov. Colmenares at the line. Making the first free throw. In the 2016 Olympics, Colmenares, one of 8 players on this Venezuelan team, playing for the national team in the Rio Games, and he averaged 8.4 points in that competition. Colmenares, 1 out of 2 from the line.
We've got a breakaway now, Dean. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Euro step all the way.
And Zubkov, transition basket by Russia. As now they lead by 6 points. Gregory Vargas, Super Raton is what they call it. Colmenares, denied, going down. No foul, no call. Here's Vorontsevich from the baseline and ringing the bell as Russia now extending its lead to 8 points. Vorontsevich finding himself wide open for the shot. Baseline jumper, nothing but net. We've got a timeout on the floor. Venezuela needs to talk things over. They're down by 8 points. Here in Foshan with 6:46 to go in this game. Russia on top 52 over Venezuela 44. But Russia already in the penalty situation while Venezuela with just 1 team foul, Josh.
Well, one way Venezuela can get back in this game is get that one more foul against Russia and keep going to the free throw line. We got 6:46 to go here. That is the benefit. Dean, if it was the other way around right now, I'd say this game is over, but it's not. So right now, Venezuela have got one thing going for them down by 8. They've got 14 fouls against Russia, one more, and they'll always be going to the free throw line stripe.
And Zubkov scoring the transition basket with a nice Euro step on his drive to the hole. And a look of disgust on the face of the Venezuelan coach, Fernando Duro. When you're giving up transition baskets, easy layups, you're going to get that kind of reaction from your coach.
Michael Carrera now is back in the game. They've gone with a semi-small lineup with Colmenares and Carrera, but again, Venezuela need to get some more options on offense. They're running out of ideas at the moment.
Shot clock down to 9. Now it's Michael Carrera at the low block. And there is a foul downstairs. They call the foul on Ivlev.
Well, that's a 15th foul now, so Venezuela, with 6:25 to go, will go to the free throw line anytime they get fouled.
Carrera now exploiting the penalty situation against Russia. He will go to the line on that foul, given up at the low block. Carrera. Now with 10 points in the game. We mentioned he had a breakout 19 points in Venezuela's previous game against Argentina. Another free throw connected here by Michael Carrera.
Oh, Russia turn it over, and again, simple full court press by Venezuela. Didn't really look, that was going to cause so much trouble. Russia causing too many turnovers. Already 4 here in the fourth quarter.
Motovilov watching that ball sail out of bounds. And Coach Sergei Bazarevich not happy with that situation. Guillen is back in the game. That backcourt of Venezuela now on the floor. Guillen and Gregory Vargas. 3 seconds to go. He's got to put up a shot. He does. Oh, he doesn't score. That would have been a wonderful shot there by Guillen, the conductor.
Well, he's got to make it simple as that. That would have been a big point to them, make it a 4-point ball game. So now Venezuela's got to do it all over again, but Colmenares just gets caught out on a foul off the ball.
Well, reaching in that time, Colmenares. A nice drive towards the hole by Ivlev. Russian referee, Bazarevich, talking to the referees. Russian coach, rather. Bazarevich, talking to our referees. Here's Zubkov with the inbound. Ivlev getting it way outside. Vorontsevich from the outside, ringing the bell. Wow, what a shot. This man is on fire in the fourth period. He saw him score that baseline jumper earlier, and then the outside bomb. Vorontsevich now with 15 points in the game. And a big 9-point lead enjoyed by Russia over Venezuela. Here's Vargas, looking to score, doesn't even hit the ring. 24-second shot clock violation against Venezuela. Zamora down on the floor.
Venezuela, you know, this is where the rundown ideas. You can see their offense where they try to spread is not so spread. It's so congested. There's no room for anybody to penetrate and make things happen. Russia, on the other hand, seeing it. The technical basketball they play, they move it very well. What happens? They get a wide open three-pointer. That looks painful. Well,
and Zamora going down, Josh, but no call in that play. And here was that three-pointer scored by Vorontsevich. He's been the man of the moment for Russia. Fritzon. Over to Motovilov. Motovilov still in the long court. Defended by Vargas. Motovilov. 7-second shot clock. Motovilov. Stutter step action. And he was called for traveling. Motovilov.
Taking about 4 steps there on the drive.
Another turnover against Motovilov, and the Russian coach is livid. He might want to bring back Kulagin. Motovilov, I think, is a little tired. He's committed a spate of turnovers. Carrera swinging the ball over to Zamora. Guillen. Zamora. Shot clock, 6 seconds. For Venezuela, the ball batted out of bounds.
Well, it was the right idea there by Zamora, just going into the basket with a spin on the dish off. But again, Venezuela, everything's just so congested. They really need to spread the floor a little bit better. Really make the Russian defense commit as much as possible.
6 seconds on the shot clock of Venezuela. Gregory Vargas with the inbound. Zamora finding the space but not getting the shot. And now, Russia on the attack. Ivlev inside. Vorontsevich not getting the shot off. And then the miss by Motovilov. Zamora giving it up, and Venezuela cannot connect. Here's another shot. Michael Carrera, this time connecting with the offensive rebound. And then the putback.
Well, Venezuela fighting for everything right now. And it could catch Russia on a turnover here on the press, but Russia just deal with the pressure very well.
This could be the turning point, a critical moment here for Venezuela. They need a last push. 4 minutes to go. They're down by 7. Kurbanov checking in for Ivlev.
Well, Dura now bringing in Churio, and what he's doing right now is he just needs another player to be a post defender, because where Russia could be very dangerous is throwing the ball inside with the mismatches they have with the sides against Venezuela.
Superaton going back to the bench, has not scored in this game. Kurbanov with the inbound.
Here's the mismatch we talked about.
Yep. Here's Kurbanov trying to carve the space, a turnaround. And he gets the shot off and he scores. Kurbanov from close distance. Now the lead is 9 for Russia. Time ticking away. The time is against Venezuela. Here's Carrera with a strong move to the hole. He goes down, he'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Dean, Michael Carrera just went to the basket like Dr. J. You see how he held the ball? I mean, he almost went in and around him. Unlucky not to get. Look how he holds the ball here. Elevates so high. That's almost a finger roll, that is. I mean, that is a tough play by Michael Carrera.
But he was bumped on the elevation to get that layup. A different angle, a rather difficult angle for Michael Carrera.
Well, just maybe we got 3:33. We could see Michael Carrera do the same move, but wrap it up and around under just like Dr. J back in the day.
Valiev checking back in for Russia.
Well, it's a good move by Coach Duro now as he brings Ruiz back in. Again, what he's noticed is by taking Zamora out, he needs all the best post defenders. But now the problem Venezuela have, they've only got one three-point shooter on the court, and that is Heisley Gigent.
2 for 2 for Carrera. The lead is down to 7. Venezuela looking to play tough defense. Looking to rebound the ball. Looking to force a turnover. Looking to force Russia to miss a shot. A foul on the reach in by Carrera. That's 14 fouls now against Venezuela, and they are in the penalty just like Russia.
Well, that's just a bad play there by Michael Carrera. What is he reaching for? You're never going to get a steal if he backs down. Force him into a bad pass or a turnover. Don't put Russia in the penalty. You're chasing the game.
Kurbanov in the long court, putting the ball on the floor, and then the drive. He looks to score, and he does. Kurbanov with a beautiful move on the reverse. Now the lead is back to 9. Venezuela running out of time. They've got to go in a hurry. Michael Carrera. Carrera looking to drive, and he will miss. Big offensive rebound. Colmenares with a shot at the connection inside. Lead is down to 7. Gigent putting the pressure on Motovilov. Motovilov with the basketball. Russia not in a hurry. They're milking the clock. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Motovilov with the basket, and he'll go to the line.
Well, it's a tough play by Motovilov there. Just comes off the screen, hesitates, elevates, but again, poor defense. I think the foul's on Gigent just with a little reach in. You can see what's Carrera. No, it is Gigent, sorry.
Motovilov, by the way, is the youngest player on this Russian team. He's only 21 years old. Before this game, averaging 2.8 points a game. But in this game, already with 12 points, so he's way over his average. Motovilov having the game of his career, the youngest player on the Russian team at 21.
Well, he was the difference in the third quarter. As soon as they brought him in the game, all of a sudden Venezuela's momentum was gone. Getting in and around the basket, and he made a huge three-pointer that just changed the momentum.
He's also kept Kulagin on the bench. Now, Gigent with the ball, looking to score, and he does. Nice shot coming from the conductor. That's an 8-point lead now by Russia. Full court pressure by Venezuela. Motovilov breaking the pressure. Less than 2 minutes to go in this basketball game. Motovilov in the long court. 8 seconds, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Motovilov. Not a good shot by Motovilov. 2 men down here for Russia. And it will be a foul against, it could be against Venezuela.
They've caught against Venezuela. White 14 they set on Ruiz, but I need to see the replay because to me, it looked like Valiev was bringing Ruiz down, but...
And you hear the Venezuelan coach, Fernando Duro, questioning the call. And looking very composed is the Russian coach, Bazarevich, and the Russian fans. Fernando Duro not looking very happy. Baburin in the game. Valiev has made some noise here in the second half. Someone who's averaging only 6.3 minutes a game and 0.7 of a point a game. And in this one, Valiev already with 6 points.
Well, no doubt about it. He's come in the game. He's just gone in for second opportunities, a few offensive rebounds. But again, with his size, he really should cause some problems, which he has for Venezuela's defense.
Missing the shot that could have been a 10-point lead for Russia. Gigent A spin move. And then fighting Colmenares. Doesn't get it to fall. Might have been a rebounding foul against Russia. And I think that's the call. They'll give 2 free throws here for Venezuela. Here's the miss. And then the locking of the arms. Michael Carrera with good rebounding position. And he will go to the line for 2 free throws on the foul by Kurbanov.
Well, that was a good shot by Nesta Colmenares. The only difference is Colmenares wants to play in and around the basket. And when you don't have Zamora in the court, the penetrations, kickouts, they really don't have any three-point shooters out there at the moment, Venezuela.
And the players from Venezuela, Dwight Lewis, Anthony Perez, who wasn't played at all in this game. And the second free throw connected once more by Michael Carrera, who now has 17 points. He had 19 against Argentina the other day. Russia putting it across safely against a pressure defense by Venezuela. Kurbanov being defended by a much smaller Dijen. And then Valiev, they'll count the basket. That's a goaltending violation. And Valiev, he has delivered big time in terms of offense in this second half. You watch it right here again. The ball already hitting the backboard. So when that happens,
They caught a foul. Dean, they've caught an M1. Valiev's going to go to the free throw line now, shoot 1 free throw.
3-point play opportunity. But again, a goaltend. And Valiev now with 8 points across his name. So a goaltend and a foul. I think it's a technical timeout here as Dijen is being helped back to the bench. I think there might be some blood. Dijen is back to the bench. He's wincing in pain. Valiev at the line. And looks like Russia might have sealed the deal here. Coach Fernando Duro. Russia looking to make it a 10-point lead. Oh, he missed the shot.
Well, you got to credit Russia to the last play because Venezuela chasing the game, trying not to foul and really put pressure. But Russia just moved the ball so well, found Valiev under the basket. He was able to make, well, got the shot blocked off the backboard. Straight to a goaltending.
Carrera with a medium-range jumper. Doesn't get it to fall. A big rebound by Zubkov and he was fouled. I thought Venezuela should have gone for a 3-point shot. Less than a minute to go. They're down by 9. Zubkov will go to the line on the rebounding foul by Venezuela. There's the Russian coach. He played for the Atlanta Hawks 10 games in the 1994-95 NBA season. He's now 54 years old. Sergei Bazarevich.
Venezuela now really downfall for them with the demise. It was when Russia brought in Motovilov in the third quarter and he started to make all things happen for the Russian backcourt. But again, not having another 3-point shooter on the court along with Isaac Dijen really hasn't been able to spread the floor for Venezuela.
And now an even 10-point lead enjoyed by Russia in this game with 50.9 seconds to go. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. You like the fighting spirit of Venezuela. They're looking at it possession by possession. They don't care about the score. They don't care about Russia on top by 10. For Coach Fernando Duro, they want to play their hearts out down to the last second of this game.
Well, that's the biggest thing for Venezuela now, pride, just to really, no matter what, keep chipping at him in these 50 seconds. And again, anytime they get a bucket or a score, they've got to put on full court pressure, force Russia into some turnovers.
Gregory Vargas finding Colmenares. Vargas, the drive, the medium range jumper. That's his first bucket of the game. Super Raton with a jumper and trimming down the lead to 8 points. And now another timeout on the floor once more. 44.6 seconds to go. Russia on top by 8 points. Check out Russia's average in terms of three-point shooting. They're hitting 31% on the average, and tonight they're hitting 35%. Already with 7 three-point connections. Now, out of this situation, Russia has the option under the new FIBA rules of either inbounding from the backcourt, in which case they will have a 24-second shot clock, or if they inbound from the front court, they will have a 14-second shot clock. So let's see what Russia decides. Are they going to inbound all the way in the back, or will they inbound in the front court? If they inbound in the front court, it'll be a 14-second shot clock. They inbound in the front court. They opt to inbound in the front court. And so it'll be a 14-second shot clock for Russia. That's one of the new innovations of FIBA in terms of rules, giving the coach an option. Fritzon. Remember, they had only 14 seconds on the shot clock. Motovilov, and he will be fouled.
Well, you can see Coach Duro going crazy, but again, I'll even see when Michael Carrera is defending on the ball, reaching. You cannot afford to foul right now.
Motovilov, he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Colmenares, 4 personal fouls. Not happy with that call. Big guy Bethelny checking in for Venezuela. Motovilov, 2 free throws coming up for him. Motovilov, 12 points across his name. Russian fans feeling it, sensing victory with 37.3 seconds to go. Here's a free throw.
I miss them both.
Big break here from Venezuela. Venezuela, time not on their side. They've got to put up a shot in a hurry. Zamora looking for a 3-point shot, doesn't get it. Now giving it off to Bethelny, and there's a foul, not a contact underneath. They call the foul on Kurbanov.
Venezuela, they're not doing a good job of getting a shot up quickly. I know you can see they're trying to go for a 3-pointer, but again, you got to go what the defense is giving you. Defense getting right in your face, go by them, get fouled during the penalty.
23.4 seconds to go. It's Carrera at the line. He could match his World Cup high this year with 19 points if he makes these 2 free throws. Michael Carrera. Averaging only 7.8 points entering this game. They had a big 19-point game against Argentina the other day, and now he's got 18. That's 19 points. Back-to-back 19 points for Carrera.
You don't want to foul here. You want to force him into a turnover, deny everything, switch everything.
And Carrera with the foul. 6-point lead by Russia.
Carrera fouled out of the game, and again, as you mentioned, meeting his height. Unbelievable how in 2 games goes from possibly being the lowest scorer to now the highest scorer on the team.
Colmenares just was not able to hit his stride in this game. 4 personal fouls sitting on the bench. Only 6 points.
Well, it's tough for Venezuela because, you know, they came out with their guns firing in the 3rd quarter. And they looked like they were taking this game over, but credit to Russia. Russia went through the waves, went through the adversity, and in the end they came out on top.
Low-scoring basketball game as the bruising defense of Russia getting the measure of Venezuela. A missed free throw here. And again, slight window open here for Venezuela. Here's a 3-point shot. Zamora missing. Would have been a big one if he had scored. Fridza with the ball. Russia is just going to run down the clock. Zubkov has it. Kurbanov. And that's a foul given up by Ruiz. Vorontsevich is going to ice this basketball game with free throws. He's been the fireman for Russia. Vorontsevich with 15 points.
Well, credit to Russia. You can see that the game's done and dusted. They're not looking to shoot the ball, but the problem for Russia is Venezuela don't stop. They just keep going at them.
Vorontsevich with the free throw. The lead is 8, 2 seconds to go. A 1 basketball game here for Russia. And Russia snapping its 2-game losing streak here in the World Cup with this victory over Venezuela. Russia have never lost 3 in a row in World Cup history. A last gasp shot coming from Gregory Vargas, not finding the mark. And that's the end of the ball game. Russia on top, 69-60 over Venezuela. An exciting basketball game. Venezuela gave it all it had. But Russia hanging tough, looking good, and making sure of this victory, 69-60. A brilliant game here for Motovilov, the youngest player of the Russian team at 21, and he orchestrated the offense down the stretch, keeping Kulagin on the bench to the Russian team.
Motovilov was a game changer for me when he came in the 3rd quarter. What he gave was a bit of stability and a bit of leadership to the backcourt for Russia. Take nothing away from Venezuela. They came out with guns firing in the 3rd quarter, but again, the gas tank just ran out. They couldn't get those perimeter shots, and they just couldn't capitalize, getting into Russia into foul trouble early.
Venezuela ending the 1st round with back-to-back wins over the Ivory Coast and China, and then here in the 2nd round, losing 2 in a row to Argentina and now to Russia. The final count, 69 for Russia, 60 for Venezuela. And some final stats here for you. 2-point shooting, 42% for Russia. For 3 points, Russia with 7 connections against only 3 for Venezuela. 14 turnovers against Russia. Venezuela with 8 steals. And the leading scorers of this ball game, Carrera leading the way for Venezuela with 19 points. Vorontsevich with 17. Motovilov with 12 points, along with Kurbanov with 12. Zamora with 13 points. Guillen, a very quiet night for him with only 7 points. And Gregory Vargas, the man they called Superaton, with just 1 field goal across his name.
Well, it hasn't worked out for Venezuela because Isaac Guillen, as you can say, he was a marked man from those first few games. Unbelievable performances against Ivory Coast and China. And when you become the hunted, you got to change it up. And he just hasn't been able to do it in the last 2 games.
Here's that shot by Vargas, his only basket of the game. And then the pass, the extra pass. And that man, number 6, Motovilov, was all action in the second half. And Valiev delivering the goods for someone not even averaging 1 point a game, delivering huge baskets in this contest with 8 points at the end of the contest. The Russian coach, Bazarevich, and then Vorontsevich with a basket from the baseline. Russian coach, very animated, very intense. And here's another shot coming from Vorontsevich. A man in the mission, a man on fire. Vorontsevich got the job done for Russia in this game. Russia winning 69-60. More action right there. And there was the goaltend violation. And they gave an extra free throw here to Valiev, Coach Duro. And that's the end of the ball game. Russia 69, Venezuela 60. Check out the leaderboard. Argentina and Poland will be playing next to determine who will remain unbeaten in Group I. Russia 3-2, Venezuela, their record 2-3. Thank you very much for watching. This is the 2019 FIBA World Cup, the World's Got game. As you see, more of the teams lining up to participate in the Olympic qualifying tournaments.